Welcome to this last day of the advent of Cyber 2023, which marks the 24th day or Christmas Day. We'll start the machine right away and make sure that we can start working on those things. So we have mobile analysis. You are on the naughty list, MacGreedy, the confrontation, Jolly Judgment Day, and we, the kings of cybers, are. Although looks like we only have two labs for sure. So going back to this mobile analysis, it's a blue team version, so it's going to be identifying what has been done on a smartphone, procedures for collecting digital evidence, the challenges with modern smartphones, and we will use a tool called Autopsy Digital Forensic to look into an Android image. Digital forensic is basically the science that helps identifying, or more than science, is more method to use science to solve crimes. And we are collecting evidence such as fingerprints, DNA, footprints, and so on, but on a digital version of this. So you have checksums, the different hashes and stuff that will help fingerprint verifying if something has been tampered with or not, being able to compare it to a baseline and so on. That's the method behind this insanity. Acquiring a digital forensic image, the idea here is being able to copy the original without modifying it, because the whole idea of forensic is being able to go to court and being able to say, okay, you have, or that group of hackers or whatever has modified, interpret, or compromised that thing with this and this and this, and being able to verify that everything has not been tampered with and it's the actual changes that have been done by the hacker or the malicious actors. That's the whole part of it. So usually the forensic analyst is using a write blocker, which is a hardware device that makes it possible to clone the disk without modifying the original data. So the idea is you will basically clone the image to the identic thing, and that's create a bit by bit copy of the disk without having the issue of possibly modifying and then tampering and making void basically the evidence that you have been provided with. The other issue, for example, would be the computer is still switched on, something is still going on it, and we don't want to switch it off because that could trigger something, or even worse, that could like just make the promisers aware that we are onto them. So the idea is to pull like a live image. The laptop could be encrypted, and shutting it down will make reading the data impossible without the password. Data could be volatile too, so it's important to have also this volatile data for the investigation, as we saw in one of the previous tasks. So when they are able to analyze a device that is switched on, investigator can gain access to the account, services, and the suspect is logged into. This is often indispensable to prove guilt or solve a crime, and various tools can be used. They usually requires to run a program on a target system, giving us access to all the data in the volatile memory and also in the non-volatile, so cloning the disk, but also dumping the memory. And so same thing applies for the smartphone. Most of the smartphone right now are literally small computers, and so Android doesn't make a difference, or even I should say Apple doesn't make a difference, although the Apple OS is proper. Android is like more open on that to that regard, and so we have different ways to pull the information out of it. So Tracy McGreedy's phone is company property, and this means that it was easy for Detective Frosto to seize it and asks forensic MacBlue to use his expertise to carry out the digital forensic investigation. If you remember, MacBlue was already the one that helped us for the volatile memory investigation. The first thing that MacBlue was doing is putting it into a Faraday bag. That bag is basically preventing the phone from receiving any wireless signal and also pushing any signal either, so that no one can actually wipe it remotely. So once you have a phone with the current and state of the art right now, you can basically make whatever you want remotely out of it. So in order to cut the any link, you put it into a Faraday bag, and therefore nothing can affect it anymore. We are then going for getting an image, and the phone is unlocked with the same password used to lock everyone out of the server room 3 weeks ago. What a coincidence. The main tools MacBlue uses for analyzing Android phones for Android are Android Debug Bridge or ADB and Autopsy. The phone is unlocked and connected to the laptop. Creating a backup using ADB backup is relatively easy. Here's the exact command he uses: ADB backup -o Android AB. Okay. Um, the main limitation of ADB backup is that some applications don't support this option, and they explicitly disallow backups with the settings allow backup equal false. Furthermore, although this option still works with a limited number of applications, it has been restricted since Android 12, so it's a good idea to rely on more robust alternatives. This backup of various applications is considered a logical image, but forcing MacBlue isn't satisfied. He wants a full raw image of the phone storage. Many commercial projects can be used to acquire an image. However, most of them rely on ADB and combine it with other tools, such as an exploit to gain root access. By default, the Android device won't provide root access to the users unless it's for development purposes. This limits the ability to access mini files and storage for it. Rooting an Android device gives us full access to the device, including raw access to the disk. MacBlue is then preparing a list of potential exploits that would give him root access to the Android device. After a couple of attempts, he is able to exploit the phone successfully and get root access. With root access, he has full access to the physical storage. To confirm that he is root, he issues a command who am I, and also needs to issue the mount command to find the mounted devices, but this would result in a very long list of all real and virtual mounted devices. However, the application data in the directory data, we need to focus our attention to the storage device mounted on data. To filter for the line mentioning data is using the grep data instead of just mount. The output allows him to pinpoint the name of the storage, which is /data, which turns out to be dev block dm0. The interaction can be seen in the terminal below. As we learned from the command in the terminal above, the device dm0, the device is dm0. Think of this device as a partition on the smartphone's disk. MacBlue wants to get this whole partition and analyze it using Autopsy. There are many ways to leverage the power of ADB and get a raw dump of dm0. One easy way is using ADB pull. The command above will pull the device dm0 and save it to the local file Android MacReady img. After a few minutes, the command is complete and the 6 gigabytes image file is created. Note that we will need root access to the above command to work on Android device. Now, all we do is import the image with Autopsy. The steps are straightforward, as we see in the screenshot. Once we start Autopsy, we see the dialog box and so on. I open the existing one. After clicking New Case, we should specify the case name. Let's use the suspect name and device to avoid ambiguity. Tracy MacReady Android, sorry. Next, we need to provide the case number and the name of the investigator. Forensic MacBlue. The next steps allows us to specify the name of the raw image. In some cases, we can have multiple raw images in one case. For example, we can have 4 images from the same suspects, 2 smartphones, 1 laptop, 1 desktop. An explicit unambiguous name is necessary. Now let's analyze the disk image we retrieved from the smartphone. In other cases, we might use a local disk, a hardware disk attached to the computer. Another example would be logical files such as MS Outlook email archive. We provide the location of the raw image we want to analyze. Does it mean it's already there? If we go to downloads, yeah, it's there. So new case, Tracy Mac greedy Android next 001 perfect. Generate a new host. Okay. Disk image, local file. It's a disk image. It's going to be this one. And I want everything. Once we click next, Autopsy will create a new case and run the ingest modules on the selected data source. Android image in this case. Before moving forward, review the questions in the connection card shown below. Finish. So one of the photos contains a flag. What is it? Hmm. One of the photos contains a flag. What is it? Okay, so where could we put photos? Photos. Picture, domain, document, DCIM, camera, Okay. THM Kelly digital underscore forensics curly braces. Okay, so that gives us the photos. What name does Tracy use to save Detective Frost to phone number? Oh friend, app, Dalvik, DRM. Is there something specific to Android at some point? Oh yeah, we have contacts here, so probably going to be there. Detective Carrot Nose. Carrot Nose. Oh, it's Detective Carrot Nose. One SMS exchange with Van Sprinkles contains a password. What it is? Messages. Hi, what's up? I was going to write to you. Did you hear the news? Blah, blah, blah. That's a big concern. What do we do now? It's not optimistic to stop this from happening. What do you mean? I won't let them have peace. I don't know what you say. Maybe you're right, but they are good people. They will be making a big mistake if they proceed to demote me. I don't know what to say. There is a password I want you to save for me just in case. Make sure you keep it somewhere secure and private. Okay, I will save it for you. She 7 A O whatever. So CHEE 7 A Q U, and that's finishes the mobile version of it. So if you enjoyed that room, you should definitely look into the autopsy room, which goes way deeper than what we did right now. Take care and see you for the next lab, the confrontation.